All right, good morning. Welcome in Friday Safety Focus of the Week, November the 4th. Looking like it's going to be another beautiful day. Great day to work safe and be productive. This week's code of conduct is to maintain confidentiality of inside information learned about ECR or about our clients. Anything to add on that topic this week, Ben?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, a lot of times, you guys in the field, like, will help us work on bids, or you'll work knowing some unit pricing and other things. And a lot of that stuff, it's easy to let that get out to the wrong place. So think about that when you do work with us in the office on some of that stuff that is really confidential regarding our pricing and other strategies. But the other thing is, some places that we work, for example, if we work at Global Foundries, or when we especially worked at like the Vermont nuclear plant, they had us actually sign as a company confidentiality agreements regarding like their infrastructure. I mean, even things like, you don't want to tell people what you're putting in over there. You can tell them you're digging and backfilling, like locations of utilities and things like that. Some of the utility companies, especially after 9/11, became very sensitive to that. And sometimes we may not do as good a job at passing that down to the lower levels of the crews, but there are cases where we do sign those confidentiality agreements. So long-winded thing, but it can get serious. Anything to add on that, Ken?
No, that sounds pretty good. The other thing I'll add, I guess, is just sometimes we have a designated point of contact at our client, like at VTrans, and we're only allowed during the bid process and award process to communicate with that person only. So we need to keep that in mind.
They're very strict with that one.
Yeah.
You want to advance the slide, Austin? So excellent job this past week. Another 7 days without a recordable injury. Let's keep it up. Systems are in place. Let's just good communication. Start the day off with a good JHA. What are hazards today and how we're going to minimize our exposures. Contact health and safety if you have any needs or questions on a potential hazard. And we'll be out surveying our job sites today and just double checking for compliance and for checking for unsafe behaviors and unsafe conditions. So let's keep up the good work. We're having a strong season. Let's get to the finish line. Austin's gonna jump in and highlight housekeeping, as we got a lot of changing conditions forecasted in the next couple of weeks. So take it away, Austin.
All right. Can everybody see everything? My Teams being weird.
We're seeing the safety
right.
news with Wednesday. There you go.
All right.
There you go. Yep.
All right. I have I'm talking about housekeeping today, and poor housekeeping can result in tripping over loose objects on the floor, stairs, platforms, or ground. You can be struck by any falling objects that are just laying around above you. Again, slipping on wet surfaces, greasy, wet, dirty. Poorly stacked items or misplaced materials can start to build up. If we get right now, this time of year, we could get a foot of snow next week. So if you have stuff all over the job site and it's a mess right now, if it snows on it, it's going to become pretty dangerous because you can't see what's under the ground, under the snow. And it's also going to be challenging to find materials and tools and things you need because the snow is just covering it up and you're unsure of where it is. Benefits of good housekeeping. You're going to need to handle materials less. You're not going to be searching around looking for things. You're going to know where they are. There obviously will be fewer slipping and tripping accidents because the ground is clean. Fire hazards decrease. Dust and vapors if the ground's gonna be cleaner, the floor's gonna be cleaner. It's gonna allow you to use the available space more effectively, and your tools and materials will become easier to find. It's also gonna improve morale and productivity. You're not gonna spend time searching for things. You get to show up at the job site in the morning and be like, oh, it's nice and clean around here now. I like this. I kind of want to work here right now. Implementing an effective program or just keeping the job site clean. Clean up during the shift. If you're going to lunch or something, look down, you see some junk, some trash, just pick it up on your way to and throw it in the trash bin. Things like that. Day-to-day cleanup after, towards the end of the day, take a little time. Everyone clean up a bit. Make sure you have a good place to dispose of trash, whether it's a big dumpster, if it's a big project, or just trash bins around. So you have places to put things, and remove any unused materials or tools, things that you just don't need that are taking up space. Try to keep your job sites clean, and that's really all I have.
Sounds good. Thanks, Austin. I think the backyard is kind of the same. It's an extension of a project and it has the same needs. So, when I walk or either around my property or out in the backyard, I'm thinking and looking at things and visioning it this time of year with a foot of snow to say, uh-oh, I better put that away, or that should get covered up or rolled over so so there's nothing sharp sticking up. And you're right, a clean job site is a good morale booster, and it gives a better appearance to the public, and everyone takes more pride in that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take over the screen. Okay. Housekeeping. Good. We're on the right one, hopefully. Everyone see it?
We got it.
Okay. So starting with announcements, of course, this weekend is the time adjustment to standard daylight time. So that's Sunday, and you need to set your clocks back 1 hour. Remember, fall back. And yeah, things will change quickly now. So payday will be on Thursday next week, because next week is the Friday Veterans Day holiday. ECI is open, however, the banks are not. So that's why we got the payroll set up for payday on Thursday. So please submit your time cards early by 7 a.m. on Monday so that the accounting department has plenty of time to process the paychecks. And I left in here the previous email or previous announcements in my email about an announcement for 401k went out. There's some ECI swag for that'll benefit, if you buy it, benefit the UVM Cancer Society, and also colder weather. They say it's coming. It's been awful nice lately. I love it. And then this is an announcement from last week too. The open enrollment for all our benefits starts November 1st to the 30th. So you have to get on board for these programs if you're not already on it. I added to this this part of the announcement a link right here in the middle in blue, the 2023 healthcare insurance overview. So it's healthcare and dental care combined. So there's an overview on costs and deductibles and all that sort of things. All good news in there. Hopefully everyone takes advantage of it if you're not already on it. And so it's also a good time to review your beneficiary forms, your 401k, your insurances. You need to have the right people in place on your beneficiary because things change. And check with Melanie. Melanie Bennett is the new office person up there who's doing managing these programs. This accident insurance is another benefit we have that not many people take advantage of. I think it's underutilized, but also not as well understood as our regular health insurances and dental. But you can get the accident insurance coverage through ECI. It's kind of a group program, so the rates are good. And the information you can get from Melanie again. So this again, if you're not on it, this is the only time of the year to jump into it. So we have a new employee this week. This is Alex Flynn. So welcome, Alex. Alex right now is in the office, sitting between Tom and Ron's office, Ron Mullen's office. I still have the link here on the primary care wellness program. So as I said last week, this is the time. They're ready for us to start doing our yearly physicals. If you haven't already done it, make your appointment today. Doesn't have to be for today, but let's make an appointment. And I'll turn it over to Matt Saganowitz. Matt, do you want me to scroll through, or are you going to scroll and take over yourself?
I'm going to try to scroll and take over myself.
Okay.
I think it'll
Go
be
ahead.
fine. Let me
Yep.
just,
It's easier that way.
yeah, let me just see. That's us. It's this one.
You can go ahead and do the project archive after, since you'll have control.
Oh, perfect. Can everybody see the project plan sheet here?
Yes, and what I often do is increase the size, zoom in a bit if you can, because it's not taking up much screen yet. Yeah, you can get up to like 160% to fill the screen good. There we go.
How's that?
Yeah, that's great.
Everybody can see that really well?
Yes.
So I'm pleased to be talking about the Park and Ride project. This is a VTrans project. We're contracted with VTrans. Work under this contract includes construction of a new park and ride lot with access roads, highway widening to add extra turn lanes, bus shelter, pavement markings, electrical services, lighting, landscaping, drainage, water, sewer, storm management, retaining wall, and other upgrades in the area. If you guys can see my mouse, and most of you probably have seen the project, it's a pretty viewable project. This is I-89, the interstate, and this is as you're going up to St. George Road 2A. The Park and Ride is here on your right. This is what they're calling, so you're going to be able to enter one way, go into the parking ride, and then when you leave, they're calling this the exit road or frontage road, which we're constructing, and then you exit at the top, more of the top of the hill. I think because you're coming down that hill, they didn't want cars exiting, on a blind spot coming down the hill. Just speculation there.
That's too close to the intersection, probably.
Very close to the intersection. And it's a pretty busy intersection, as everybody knows. This project, when we arrived, was all wooded. So basically untouched property. So it's a quite unique project. And I'll get into some of the specific, points to it with like how much material we moved, the lighting and all that stuff. But I'll keep on going down here. This is one page reflecting the actual park and ride itself. And there's a lot just happening, within this area, per the stormwater runoff permit. These are all like swales. Basically, the stormwater goes into these swales, and it's got a special type of soil in there that treats the water before it eventually gets discharged down into this dry retention pond. It basically should never hold water unless we get some crazy flood events, but basically it just kind of goes through here and out, but it's all treated by the time it gets down there. There's actually a hydromatic separator up here that'll help get rid of some of the trash and stuff before it actually gets treated through the soils. Pretty extensive area. And then there is a maintenance access road that goes around here with a retaining wall. Hopefully you guys can see my mouse.
Yep, I'll see it.
Yep, so it's just a little access road so they could work on this pond. There's a structure that they'll probably need to clean out, you know, maintenance and stuff to get down there. And then the park and ride itself. Within this, basically, there were 14,500 cubic yards of excavation, a lot of earth moving. And then to replace that, there's 13,000 cubic yards of select material, meaning like sand, dense grade. I didn't account for the pavement, but also pavement. Over 632 new tree plantings and shrubs. 632. That's what these circles are here, are trees. There's trees in this bioswale, and on another sheet, there's a bunch of trees kind of along 2A. There were 6,000 lineal feet of conduit, 37 street light assemblies. We cleared 12 acres of property. 6 on the park and ride and 6 for the BGS section, which we just had to clear, and then it's taken over by somebody else to finish the work. So this is a good picture. This was taken kind of in the median of the interstate, kind of looking, that would be west, I guess, at the park and ride. So basically all the trees were laid down.
Mostly south. I'd call that looking south, right?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't really any trees worth of value. They pretty much chipped them all and sold them, or sold them probably to Burlington Electric. So nothing was wasted. You know, it's all going to be chipped and used for good energy. A pretty cool picture. And this is when it set up a lot of red flags. You know, this was all tree cover, and then they see this, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's going on?" Lot of, you know, it's 12 acres, so it's a pretty big site. This is a picture looking down from what we're calling frontage road. This was a wet day, but you could see the nice view in the background. There's 89 and the underpass, which would get us up to the park and ride. Really nice views. This is a great aerial shot. This is when we're working the parking ride. The other picture was taken up here looking down frontage road down this way. This is the dry retention pond that is complete at this time, all matted. This is specialty grass, very expensive seed for the dry retention area. Can't see the wall or the access road is at 100%. You know, dictated here, but it comes right around. Looks like they're putting in the bioswale here, and there's a few more out in here. Great shot, kind of shows the whole area being worked. Pretty big area. Oh, this is a so they have the GPS set up in the dozer, so I was lucky enough to get a couple moments in there to check it out. Very cool setup. It actually moves the blade up and down, however you need it done. I moved it around a little bit. The guys let me move it around a little bit. Very cool how it works. And it makes, you know, production a lot faster. We can move and place the select material very quickly. This is a picture of us working a slope. And this is a head wall that'll eventually, pipe with a head wall that'll eventually dump out into a swale that goes all the way around. We had the haul trucks on here because of the dirt, all the dirt that needed to be moved on site. from one location to another to be reused. And then there's a dozer again. This is actually down in the dry retention pond. This is the structure, and if you look really closely, this big hole is more, there's a valve in there. That's more to drain it if it ever did, like if these, the smaller holes got clogged. There's a gate valve in there, cover with a handle. You open that up, it discharges that water, and it allows them to do some maintenance to clear out these,
suture. I'll have them check.
the baffles and stuff. Got the 350 setting the structure. This is work on the retaining wall. This is
Yep.
the maintenance road,
I got
and,
that. Yeah.
and they're starting to build the wall there. Some GPS, our GPS equipment. Basically, one base runs the whole site. This picture was more in the beginning. We had a water line for the BGS building, building of general services that needed to be ran across. We decided to auger bore and put in a steel sleeve for the water line under the road. Very successful. All the guys really worked together. And it was pretty amazing to see it all fall into place. This is Mike Dougal. So this is a 10-inch AC water line that we actually had to tap into. We have one more tap we haven't done yet below, more towards the park and ride itself. This is up towards the BGS building. But this is Mike Dougal. I'm sure you guys worked with him in the past. 8-inch water line, 8-inch gate valve on a 10-inch AC tap. Very cool to see that done. This was a pretty unique, and it's kind of multiple pictures. So we had 37 light poles with 37 bases. And, the parking lot is pretty well built up at this time. And we didn't want to, these are 8'6" foundations with 30 inches sticking above the ground. So we wanted a low, not a big excavation. So what we did was we pushed in the steel casing that's bigger than the foundation, augered it out, and dropped the new foundation in. We used the, I think we're calling it, hope I'm saying this right, the pogo stick. It's like an air-powered compaction device to compact this, raise the steel sleeve up, and I'll probably get to the picture. That allowed us to work on, connect the conduits to the bases, really slick. I don't even, if anybody's on here that wants to chime in, they were pretty productive with these. I mean, there was quite a few of them to put in. Richie Munson measuring out some fabric. You can see the pipe, the drainage pipe in the background there. These guys were working a slope. This is the new, I think we're calling it like man-made topsoil. It's pretty unique. It grows grass very quickly. It's very cool because it stands, it holds well on these slopes. And I think it's been a success so far. And these guys are just seeding and matting, getting it all stabilized. So yesterday, starting yesterday, Thursday, the parking lot area was ready. It was fine graded, ready to pave. I mean, all the slopes were done, drainage, all that stuff for the parking ride was in. So it was a perfect time, beautiful weather to start paving. So I have the guys here checking depth. This is just base to kind of seal everything in for the season. And they got, I figured they get half done yesterday. They got 3/4 of it done. So they'll finish it up today. Very, very good job. Met all compaction specifications. Very cool. Oh, and this is the archive, horizontal directional drilling for consolidated communications between Williston, I-89 rest area, September 2011. Yeah, I actually remember this. Got the directional
Okay.
drillers. Feel free, anybody, to chime in. I don't know much about what was going on in this picture, but
Yeah, using an air hammer to drill through rock from one side to the other. It's a communication connection for consolidated, connecting the two. They had a contract or something with the V-Trans, I believe, for communications. So we put a sleeve through to the other side. That's from the southbound rest area, shooting towards the northbound. The air compressor there is an air hammer for downhole hammer that runs off compressed air. So,
very cool.
all right. Well,
2011.
very, very nice presentation, Matt.
And it's not, just so everyone knows, it's not complete. We still got to go up frontage road, do some widening on 2A, but you know, the crews really did a great job working together, getting it done. We're very much ahead of schedule at this point with this project, and it looks good. You know, it's very viewed. You know, everybody drives by it on the interstate, and like everybody I talk to, they're like, "Oh my God, that's looking so great." So props to the guys and the crews, you know, everybody involved. Very good job, well done.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Good enough. Have a safe day out there. Matt, anything left?
Yeah, just attendance. Please send me over if you watch this in a group setting so I can capture attendance, but let's have a great day. Let's have a safe day.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Matt.
everybody.
Bye.